Now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining me and Michelle Milano for our Registrar training this morning. We know that maybe on a cold, overcast day like today, maybe there's nothing that you'd rather do than stay inside and take this webinar. So let me start off with a couple of housekeeping issues. I know that the webinar format may be new to some of you, so let me explain a few things about it. The first thing is that all of you are on mute. Which means that we cannot hear you if you talk. We do want to hear from you, and I will talk about that in just a second. But if we take everybody off of mute, then that means we can hear everybody's dogs, everybody's TV going in the background, everybody typing on their keyboard. So to reduce the chaos factor, we have everybody on mute right now. However, there are a couple of ways that you can get a hold of us. And if I can get this to advance, there we go. First of all, on your screen somewhere, you should see a light gray control panel. It looks like this, like you see on your screen. If you're not seeing the control panel, then look in the upper corner, upper right or left-hand corner, for a tab with an arrow in it. If you click that tab with the arrow in it, that will bring out your control panel, okay? So once you have your control panel, you have a raise hand button. Looks like a hand with a green arrow in it, like you see on your screen here. If you click on the hand, that will be my signal. I can take you off of mute, and then you can speak your question right to me, and everybody will hear you. The preferred way for me, for you to all get in touch with me, instead of raised hand, I would prefer for you to go down more toward the bottom, toward the question box. And you can see where it says questions. There's a box right underneath where it says questions. You can place your cursor in the box and type out any question that you have, and we will stop and answer the questions through the course of the training. When you type in a question, I'm the only one that can see it, myself and Michelle, so don't worry, we're not going to broadcast your name and your question all to the whole entire council, so you don't have to worry. If you think you have a silly question, go ahead and type away, because nobody will know who you are, and we'll be glad to answer those for you. Okay, so going back to, come on, there we go. I'm Kay Stevenson, and I'm a training manager on staff with Council. I'm being joined this morning by Michelle Milano, who is one of our eBiz registrars. So here's our contact information. I'll pause for a second if you want to write that down. Maybe after the training you'll have some questions that come up that you didn't think to ask us. That's fine. You can go ahead and email us, and we'll be glad to get back to you. Okay, a couple more things. We will be recording your attendance at the webinar, and after it's over, we'll go into your record on the membership database, and we will mark that you attended, so you will get credit. If there's somebody listening in with you, maybe you have another leader listening in with you, or maybe another service team member listening in with you, maybe your service unit manager or a co-registrar, that is fine. Glad to have everybody. Now, the person listening in with you, if they did not log in, they will not show up on the attendance report that gets generated for us. So if somebody is listening in with you, what I'd like you to do is go to the question box right now and type in that person's name. That way I'll be sure to give them credit. And speaking of that question box, as long as we're there, everybody go to the question box and please type in the service unit that you're from. So let's see who we've got with us. Okay. Okay, yes, I see we have 2 field execs on the call. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. So if anybody has field exec type questions, we'll be able to answer those at the end. So we have people from, oh my goodness, they're all rolling in. Service Unit 70, 53, 28, 61, 84, 64, and 10. So this is great. We have people calling in from all over the council. And from 24, again, hello, and thank you for joining us. I do see a hand raised, so let me just take a quick look and just see if, hang on a minute, I have to unmute you as well. Okay, Laura Rasmussen, you had your hand up. Did you have a question for me?
No, I must have hit the wrong button.
No
Sorry.
problem, no problem, no problem at all. So I'll just lower everybody's hands now. And?
Hey, can I interrupt you for a minute?
Yes.
We have somebody trying to join the call. How can you send me a link for them, or what would you like me to do?
Oh, what I'd like to do, actually, if you can pass that over to Crystal. Crystal Gaines, our other training manager, is on the line with us. Crystal, could you, is this Michelle talking?
Yes.
Okay, Crystal, could you get with Michelle and help that person, and then we can go ahead. I'll go ahead with the training while we figure that out.
Yeah, I'll do that. Give me 1 second.
Okay, thanks. All right, and I believe that takes care of our housekeeping stuff. Let's actually start by launching a poll. What we'd like to do is learn about your Girl Scout experience for those of you who are on the call. Check all that apply. You can check more than one, so let's see what experience we have joining us this morning. I'll give you all a few seconds to chime in. Okay, I'm going to close out the poll and let's share the results. Let's see. Okay, 78% of you, wow, a whopping 78% of you have been a leader for 1 or more years. That's terrific, and we thank you for your time and your service. 11% of you haven't been on the service unit team, so you're new to the position. That's fine. And 89% of you have been on the service unit team before. So that's great. That means we have a lot of experience with all of you all today. One of the things that we'd like to do is definitely have you share best practices, or if you have comments, things that you think are going to be helpful for some of our newer registrars on the call, please go ahead, type those into the question box, and we'll be able to share them out. Okay, enough of me talking about preliminaries. Let's get moving. You should have received an email from me with the registrar guide attached. If you printed it out, that's fine. If you didn't print it out, don't worry too much about it. We'll be summarizing it basically during this webinar. If you want to try to follow along, that's okay. We're not necessarily going page by page. But the registrar guide goes into detail about everything that we're talking today. So be sure and look through that and print it out at some point. Okay. So what are we going to do this morning? We have 3 main objectives. We're going to talk about learning to work with your service unit team and service unit volunteers. We'll help you understand how to provide leadership within the service unit, and we'll help you become familiar with service unit registrar responsibilities. So what I'd like to do is start with the service unit registrar position description. If you did print out that guide, your position description is on page 3. Again, if you don't, it doesn't matter. But first of all, the purpose and term of appointment. Your appointment is for 2 years. It's renewed annually. And the purpose of the position is to track and process service unit membership registration. The accountabilities, if you have the description with you, it's the middle portion of the page. The accountabilities, we want you to ensure that members are registered and re-registered for the current membership year. So you can keep tabs on that, send out reminders for current troops or current girls to re-register for the coming year. This also includes understanding the process of online registration and some common troubleshooting. Michelle, a little later in the training, will be talking about that to help you, give you some hints there. We would like you to promote spring renewal registration. Now, we have so many veterans on the call this morning. You will remember early bird has always been our term for registration in the spring and early summer. We are now using the term spring renewal. This is in line with GSUSA. So one thing that you can do that would help us enormously is to help people know, get out there and educate in your service unit that we're calling it spring renewal now instead of early bird. And Michelle will talk more about that later. A big part of your job is helping us keep an accurate account of registered members and troops. This is actually crucial for helping Heart of New Jersey with our membership data cleanup. If you have a leader who maybe uses her maiden name or has a hyphenated name but goes back and forth between years, well, this year she uses this name, next year she uses a hyphenated name, all of a sudden we have 2 accounts created for one person. Or if a parent has a daughter named Elizabeth, one year she's registered as Elizabeth, the next year she's registered as Lizzie, the third year she's registered as Beth because Elizabeth now wants to be called Beth. That means that we now have 3 accounts for one person because our system doesn't recognize that it's the same person. So if you happen to catch any of that, that will help us tremendously in cleaning up our data. And finally, we expect you to support. You're part of the service unit team, so support the service unit team. We'll talk about that in a second. All right. And for some of the qualifications, you do need to be registered. have a current membership in GSUSA, and you need to be registered to our council, Hardip, New Jersey. You must have a current background check with a volunteer application. That is done every 3 years. The reason we do it over, well, we contact you whenever you need to kind of re-up with the background check. The reason is that after we're done with the background check, we destroy the Social Security number. So we come back every 3 years and ask your permission again to do that background check. And then finally, we want you to get the training, and you're here today, so that's good. Get the training that you need to understand to know how to do the registrar job effectively. Okay? So that is a summary of your position description. But again, if you can help us with spring renewal, if you can help us cleaning up our data and be on top of the whole membership thing, that is a tremendous amount of help to us. We do have a code of conduct for our volunteers. We need you to affirm the Girl Scout promise and law. We'd like you to be inclusive to all levels of society, accept diversity, embrace diversity within your area. Remember that you represent Girl Scouts in all interactions. So if you're screaming at somebody and another person looking on thinks, is this really how a Girl Scout behaves? So just you might keep that in mind. Refrain from linking Girl Scouts to any one specific religion, but you can encourage growth in spirituality on an individual basis. Okay. If you are handling funds, please act responsibly with them. Provide a safe place for girls, physically, emotionally, any support that you can provide for the girls. If any of them need help, see what you can do to provide that. And finally, refrain from drugs or substances that impair judgment. Remember, you're a role model for the girls and for other adults. Okay, so moving on, what's the purpose of a service unit? And I think we have so many veterans, you're probably familiar, but let's review. The purpose unit is there to extend membership in your local, primarily in your local area, but also in the wider area. And we ask you to help recruit volunteers and girls who are reflective of our diverse community. The service unit provides direct support to girls and adults. You'll be helping leaders directly with registration. The organizer will help with recruitment. The treasurer will help leaders with troop bank accounts. So provide what support you can to girls and adults. We ask the service unit to educate the community about the benefits of Girl Scouting. This is all about awareness raising, whether it's marching in a Memorial Day parade or encouraging Girl Scout troops maybe to participate in city council meetings by leading a flag ceremony, or going around to community groups and talking about the service project they're doing, or what they're doing for bronze, silver, and gold awards. Let's get our Girl Scouts out there and be good ambassadors for us. And then finally, the service unit acts as a communication center for Girl Scouts. So you're simply making sure that the messages and activities that you do as a service unit reflect the Girl Scout leadership experience and the council goals. All right, here we have a service unit team structure. The two positions at the top, the field executive and the service unit manager. Field exec is a member of staff. Each service unit has one. The service unit manager is a volunteer. These two people work very closely together. They're constantly keeping tabs on each other. Here's what's going on in our service unit, or here's something from council that you need to know. Can you help us get it out to the leaders? Now, underneath those two positions, there is a row of light gray boxes. These are the core service unit positions. All service units should make sure that these positions are filled. Okay, so you need to have product sales managers for cookies, candies, and nuts. You should have organizers, a treasurer, registrar, here we are, an annual family campaign coordinator, and delegates, the people who attend our annual meeting and vote on behalf of the service unit and also help bring council news back to the service unit. The darker gray box at the bottom, these are secondary positions, all very useful, and hopefully you have people enthusiastically volunteering to fill these out. But level consultants, for example, are useful. Daisy level, junior level, cadet level, people who can help you understand, is this an appropriate activity for my brownies? Outdoor consultant may be somebody who plans your service unit camporee. So lots of different possibilities for people on the team, lots of different ways for people to help out. And if somebody comes up to you or to your service unit manager or your team and says, I'd really like to be part of the service team, See if you can find a way to fit them in. Don't turn them down. Well, you know, all of our positions are full right now. If they're really interested in being on the service unit team, let's get their ideas and their enthusiasm on board. This is the council staff organizational chart, and I won't go through the whole thing, but you see we have our CEO, Pat Carroll, who has been with us for 9 months. And below that, the top kind of rank there, you see our departments that we have. We have our camp directors, membership, HR, marketing and communication, program, fund development, retail, and financial officer. So those are the various departments that we have, and underneath all of the specialists and all the field executives that we have, everybody working to bring Girl Scouts out to the service units. What does the service team do? Another thing that we ask you to do is provide a welcoming service unit, particularly for those newer members. And I'm sure I'm not the only one here this morning who you go in, you're volunteering for a new position or to help in some way. You walk into a meeting and everybody's talking with each other. Everybody seems to already fit in. Everybody already knows the jargon. Nobody's noticing you. Nobody's reaching out to you saying, hey, you know, we're really glad you're here. So one thing you and the service team might consider is to maybe have a separate meeting with the new leaders. So you can say, we're the service unit team. These are the positions. This is what we do, and this is how we can help you. Here is our contact information. That will help new leaders tremendously to get going. Explaining Girl Scout jargon. Not everybody knows. Not all new leaders know what a camporee is or what cookie incentives are, and they certainly won't know what spring renewal means. So it's often one of the best things you can do for a new leader is to make sure they understand what's going on. Make sure that all new leaders are on email distribution lists, or if you have a Yahoo group or a Facebook page for your service unit, make sure that they know that so they can feel included and get all of the council information that's out there and service unit information. Also look for regularly thanking individuals and recognizing special services or achievements. We do have council recognition for volunteers, but volunteer recognition does not always have to happen, or it doesn't only happen on the council level. And here's something else the service team can help with. If you want to recognize something, hey, you know, I was at ShopRite the other day and I noticed that your troop had a really clever booth display, cookie booth display. Send them just a handwritten note or an email to say, this is really great. We appreciate the time that you're putting into working with your girls. Or I understand that so-and-so in your troop is working on her Gold Award, and I heard somebody else talking about her project. It sounds fabulous. Please let her know that she's doing a terrific job. Or find that girl and send her a note saying you're doing a great job and we support you. So there are little ways. People, when they volunteer for organizations, and I'm actually speaking for myself here, you don't really do it for the recognition. But it's always a pleasant surprise to have something come out of the blue to say, we notice what you've been doing and we just want to thank you because it's helped us a lot. Developing a service unit plan of work. This is something you'll do with the service unit team. If you happen to be in the packet, it's on page 11. The service unit plan of work is a way of assessing the service unit. Okay, how are we doing with adult retention? What are our plans for adult recruitment? How are we retaining girls? Is there anything new we should do for girl recruitment? Okay, so you'll sit down with the service unit team and figure out a plan. We're going to increase girl membership by 7% this year, or we want to have 2 new troops at this particular school. So you'll come up with your plan and you'll figure out a way to implement it as a service unit. The assessment form is what we have on page 11, so you'll work from that. And in that plan of work, you should include volunteer recognition. Now, in order to retain adults, let's take a good look. Which of our adults, which of our leaders have really been putting themselves out there, and how can we thank them? You're primarily a registrar, that's why you're on the call today, but you may get questions other than registrar-type questions. So it will be helpful for you to become familiar with the Girl Scout leadership experience. So what you see here on the screen from left to right, we have the journeys, In the middle, we have the Girls Guide to Girl Scouting, and then on the right, skill building activity, or skill building badges, sorry. If none of this is looking familiar to you, then what you need to do is be current with your level training. Okay, if you have a current troop, make sure that you attend your level training because we do discuss all of these. If you don't have a troop, maybe they've disbanded, maybe they've graduated out, feel free to sit in on any of our trainings, in-person trainings, webinars, just to familiarize yourself with these materials, and then you'll be able to answer any questions about this that comes your way. All right, a few membership basics. There is an annual membership fee. Not everybody understands that, that membership is annual. You don't just register once and you're done for the rest of your life unless you have a lifetime membership, okay? So if somebody's paid the annual membership fee, they need to re-register the following year and then the year after that. So you can help people understand that. The current fee for adults and girls for registration in GSUSA is $15. And then in addition to that, we ask the girls to pay an additional $15 council service fee. So the yearly fee for girls is actually a total of $30. Both of those fees are paid online. With forming troops, you may be called on to help your school organizer perhaps form and register new troops in your community. So these are the leader steps for new leaders. The first thing is that they need to be registered. So we just talked about that. Annual unless they purchase the lifetime membership, which is available to adults 18 years and older. They must complete a background check. That's on our volunteer application. And as I said before, the background check is completed every 3 years. Next, we have 3 training steps. The first is GS 101, or Girl Scouting 101. This is an online training from GSUSA. You find it on our website, but it's from GSUSA. It will help girls, it will help leaders. It gives you an overview of Girl Scouts and of some of the resources we have available. The next step is basic leadership training. This is the basics of starting up your new troop. This is available in webinar or in person, and people register for this on eBiz. Finally, and after basic leadership training, then your field executive can issue a troop number. If both new co-leaders have completed BLT, at that point then your field executive will be able to issue you with a troop number. The final step is level training. So Daisy level, cadet level, junior level. That's where we really talk about the resources, how to work with girls this age. It's kind of where the rubber meets the road, as I frequently say in my trainings. This is also available in webinar or in person, and again, you'll register through eBiz. Once you've completed level training, that is when your field executive can issue you with a bank letter, a bank authorization letter. This allows a new troop to be able to open up a bank account under Council's tax ID number. I think we've had a question come up, so let me take a look at that. Okay, we've been told over the last year that the new leaders need to complete level training prior to obtaining a troop number. Has there been a change? Yeah, what it is now is they need to complete basic leadership training to get the troop number. Okay, so they don't have to go all the way through level training. They can complete basic leadership training, get their troop number, and hold their parent meeting. They need to hold off on meeting with the girls until after they've had their level training. Okay. All right, and I think, is that my last? Oh no, I'm not quite done yet. Sorry, I thought I was ready to hand things over to Michelle. A couple of quick things on troop size and who needs to be trained. This chart here, this is from Volunteer Essentials. So if you need to go, this shows girl-adult ratios. If you have X number of girls, then you need Y number of adults for safe meetings. There always need to be a minimum of 2 registered, background checked, and fully trained adults at each meeting. Okay? So if you have questions about this, you can always check with your field executive too. They can help you work things out. Who needs what? We frequently ask, this person wants to help with the troop in this way. Do they have to go all the way through training? Probably not. Unless the leaders must go all the way through training. Co-leaders must go all the way through training. Anybody in a co-op troop, and a co-op troop is where all the parents, or at least one parent in each family, is going to share in leading the troop. Co-op troop parents all have to go all the way through level training. Again, because if they're going to rotate who's leading the meeting, you always need to have those 2 fully trained leaders at each meeting. As for the rest, they need to be registered and background checked. Do they have to do the training? It's not necessary. If they want to, we won't stop them. Everybody's welcome to our training, so everybody can come. But your treasurer, nut cookie parent, overnight chaperone, they do need to be registered and background checked, but they don't necessarily have to go through the training. If you have a guest who comes to 1 meeting a year, it's not necessary for them to be registered or background checked. If you find that there is a parent who is attending a troop probably more than 3 meetings, that person should be registered and background checked. A quick note about overnights and male helpers. Overnight helpers must be registered and background checked. We do have men as Girl Scouts. That's perfectly fine. They have to go through the whole process just like anybody else would. If they are going to be on an overnight with the girls, they must have their own sleeping quarters, their own bathroom, and they can't share a room or a tent with their daughter. Okay, again, if you need help with this, you can ask your field executive. This chart is available on our website. If you go to the Training tab, click on Resource Library, and when you get to the Resource Library, click on the book that says Leader Resources. Okay, that will bring up a list of things, and you'll find this particular chart. All right, then finally, a few words about troops. Let me get to my notes. I'm getting ahead of myself again. Okay. Placing girls in troops. There is kind of a proper order for, or there is a priority for who gets placed in a troop. So the first, girls who are currently registered, including individually registered girls, are Juliets. They always get priority. Girls who are transferring and are transferring from another troop, transferring from another council, and if they're currently registered, that is the next priority. Any girls who have been on a waiting list, that comes next. And then inquiring girls. So if your daughter's BFF lives next door and suddenly wants to join your troop, you can't take that person over somebody who's been on the waiting list for 6 months, okay? So that's what we mean by that. If you have a troop that's disbanding or graduating, there is a troop disbanding form that they should fill out. That helps us keep things straight. Series, girls who participate in series, this might be more something that's organized by council. For example, a series where girls go to Girl Scouts for 4 successive Saturdays and learn like outdoor skills. You might, you can get, I think the series reports are not included in your weekly reports, but if there are girls in your local community, you can ask your field exec for that particular series to find out who those girls are so you can make sure they're included in service units projects. Our Juliets are individual girl members. The Juliets, we register them not to a specific troop, but they are registered to the service unit. All right. You can ask your field executive for a report of all of the individually registered girls in your service unit. That way you can reach out to them and invite them to local service unit, service days, programs, events, join us at this parade. So we do have Juliet reports available. Again, ask your field exec. Any girl who's registering on her own also needs to have an adult register with her, somebody who can mentor her Girl Scout activities. That adult must have a completed background check as well. Graduating seniors, they receive a one-time limited time offer of a 48% discount off of a lifetime membership. Okay, so that's a good deal. The current amount for graduating seniors is $195. They will get a packet from council explaining how to take advantage of this offer. If they would like to do that, then they need to have registrations and payment into council by August 31st. So they don't have forever to take advantage of this. It needs to be the summer right after graduation. If you have troops, maybe there's a troop that's just graduated, the leader's saying, we have a lot of money in our account, we're trying to figure out how to spend it down. Suggest to the leader, and approved by the girls, of course, that they offer to purchase lifetime memberships for the graduating seniors at this reduced rate. It makes a wonderful parting gift. And I see we have a question. I'll get to that in just a second. Finally, lifetime members. Adults 18 and over, male or female, can register as lifetime members. The current lifetime membership is $375, and this means that you wouldn't have to pay every year. You can register through eBiz, and I think, and Michelle can correct me later, I think if you register as a lifetime membership, you still need to input your leader position code annually, but Michelle will correct me if I'm wrong on that. All right, let me see what this question is. Let's see. Oh, it's about Juliet's. Let's hang on just a second. Oh, Juliet's previously were registered to a special Juliet troop number and showed up on a separate report. Yes, they are registered to a troop number for your service unit, and you can request that report from your field executive. I don't think it shows up on the weekly reports, but you can request that special report. When I said that we register Juliet's to the service unit, there is a specific troop number that we do assign them to. I'm probably not saying this all correctly, but if you would like to know who your Juliets are, contact your field executive. All right, and I'm going to pass things along to Michelle Milano now. She's going to talk about eBiz specifically and how you can help with things there. So Michelle, over to you, and thank you for joining us.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about a little bit of the eBiz basics. How do you register? What is eBiz? eBiz is our online registration system for membership registration, camp, training, programs. It stands for e-business. So the best thing we tell everybody to do is how we don't recommend you forwarding links to the registration site. That sometimes causes you to get unlinked and to the wrong council. So the best practice to get to eBiz would be to go to our homepage and then click on the eBiz button that you see, or on top of the homepage it says eBiz registration. So those are the best two ways to access the site. The benefits of eBiz is that it's quick and easy. It provides up-to-date, accurate information. It's environmentally friendly. And as an O1 leader, you can view your roster, send email to your troop, print membership cards, or update your troop info. And Kay was right before I forget that, yes, as a O1 leader, if you are a lifetime member, you will need to add that O1 position to your lifetime membership each year. So each
Michelle, I'm glad I got that right.
is good for 1 year, whether you're a lifetime member or an annual member. Also, we have a donation tab on the page. You can go in at any time of the year to make a donation to the annual family campaign. And if you have any questions about donations in your service unit, then you can contact Helen French. Part of your role as registrar is understanding the registration process. That we're going to go through what new members experience, what a returning member experiences, so you get some basics and some basic understanding. You're going to communicate the importance about being registered. Any girl who's participating in a Girl Scout activity, meetings, trips, has to be a registered member. And you are the critical member in your service unit who's going to be promoting registration. You're going to have eBiz weekly reports. They're generally run on Friday mornings. You're going to make sure people are with the correct troop and all your contact information is correct. You're going to spot check. Sometimes there are errors on the report. Somebody types in the wrong troop number, and somebody who is not in your service unit winds up on one of your troops, and you're just going to contact your field executive to say, I think there might be a mistake on this member. Okay. So with registration, you might be the first contact person of how to register. Somebody might not know how to access the eBiz portal. What happens with new girls and adults? When you have new troops forming in your community, you're going to ask your leaders to collect their email confirmations, make sure everybody's registered, and then tell your field executive who is joining that new troop. You're going to review your reports, Any girl who's moving troops within your community or possibly out of your service unit, then you're going to be in contact with your field executive and be the liaison for troop transfers. And as Kay explained earlier, there is a order of how do you place girls who are waiting for troops, and you'll see them on the beginning of your reports. Anybody who is not linked with a troop is possibly either waiting for placement or has become a Juliet and needs to be moved over to their Juliet troop. And you'll also see the lifetime numbers in the first part of your report. Okay. Your key partners on your team, of your field executive, you'll be in very good communication with your field executive. Your organizer, if each school has a different organizer, you're going to be in communication with all your organizers of who's joining what troop and which new troops are starting. It's possible that you might be the organizer for your town, so just keep that in mind as well. You also will be in contact with your product sales, service unit managers, your service unit nut manager and cookie manager. You're working closely with them to make sure that since all of the data for the Nut E and eBuddy are pulled straight from the registration reports that you receive on a weekly basis, you're going to want to make sure that everybody's registered so that they can sell their products. And then, of course, your service unit manager. Okay. As Kay mentioned also earlier, we're going to be having spring renewal. Spring renewal is replacing early bird, so that we're going to get that message out to everyone who might be used to the early bird terminology. The spring renewal period has also changed a little bit. The dates have changed. It's starting next week on Monday. Spring renewal opens, and it will go through June 30th. So midnight June 30th, early bird is closing, and all the incentives will be valid through June 30th to receive those incentives. We want to get the message out that spring renewal and on-time registration is the normal time to register. We don't want to wait till after our membership has expired to try to get back in. And kudos to everybody who helped with spring renewal and early bird on-time registration last year, because we were 8th in the nation with our early bird campaign. So keep it up. That's a great job. Let's have another great year. And there's lots of incentives for spring renewal, such as the free patch. And we're going to have that songbook program that will be held on September 19th. So in August, take a look for the eBiz registration for your songbook program. And there will be a 15% coupon for the council shops. So read your dates carefully when you receive your coupons to make sure you get all of your incentives when you purchase your spring renewal. We also have some renewal incentives for adults and service units. Any adult who registers and claims their O1 position of their troop, so any new or returning leader who's claimed and activated their O1 position prior to June 30th, will be entered into one of 12 drawings for a $50 spa day. And the service unit with the greatest percentage of spring renewals will win a free camporee to Camp Oval or Camp DeWitt with a value up to $600. And here's a flyer that will be made available to you shortly that you can have out at your leaders meetings, or you might want to electronically forward it to your troop leaders of the spring renewal program. Okay, and just to kind of have an overview of Registrar throughout the year. The Registrar position is a full year position. During the spring, you're going to be promoting the spring renewal. You're going to kind of be you might need to have some training and support in your service unit of when to register. People might not know that they need to register every year, so you're going to promote that in your service unit. And spring renewal will close at 11:59 on June 30th. During the summer, we're going to promote on-time registration, especially if they're selling nuts and candy. That usually starts at the beginning of October. You're going to want to have on-time registration and be registered prior to September 30th. You may need to contact your leaders and remind them to get their troops registered by the deadlines. During the fall, there's the nut sale. You're going to be making sure everybody selling nuts is registered and helping organize the new troops that are forming, making sure the girls are getting placed into their right troop. And in the winter, we're gearing up for the cookie sale. A troop manager is the adult who is registered, who has claimed and activated their O1 position. When you first claim your position, it is marked as pending while your background check is verified. Background checks are valid for 3 years. However, your position is annual, so you must renew that every year. A troop may have more than one active O1 adult. So if you have a co-leader and a leader who equally use that troop management feature, they can definitely have 2 or 3 O1s in a troop. And you can, as a troop manager, you're also able to purchase programs for girls with current registrations. So that songbook program, any leader can purchase the songbook program for all of the girls who participated in the early bird campaign, the spring renewal campaign. Okay. Now we'll go through some eBiz basics. When you have claimed your O1 position, when you first log into your eBiz portal, you're going to be in your family if you have more than just yourself. Or you will, if you're just one person in your family account, you're going to get a screen that looks like this. If you have a family account, you're going to click on Vicky's account. This is Vicky. She has a family of 4. She's going to click on Vicky's account and get this. She sees all of her positions that she has claimed over the last few years. At any time, you can add a volunteer role right from that spot. During registration, when you're adding a role, most of the people in your service unit will be selecting troop to add a role to your troop, and it is membership year specific. So when you're adding a role, please look at the dates. If I were to log in next week and select 2015 as my leader position, that would expire in September. So we're going to need to get the message across that you have to make sure you're selecting your 2016 positions. If you are a troop leader, you're going to select troop. Service unit, if you are on the service unit team, that's when you would use the service unit position only. An area we don't generally use at all. Okay. Sometimes an error message will appear when you're trying to add a position, especially if you're a new troop. It might not have a meeting information yet. You'll get a troop not found. If that happens when you're trying to add a position, you'll just back up and say, no, you're not a volunteer right now. Process your registration. You're going to contact your field executive or eBiz, and we can help get you a position in that troop. And also, if you are using a browser, what generally tends to happen is your Internet Explorer, your Firefox is advancing and they're going through upgrades faster than the eBiz system. So sometimes when that happens, there's a freezing or a blank screen. What works best is if you go down to a lower version of the browser, or changing, if you're on Firefox, then change to Internet Explorer. Usually changing your browser will get you success in registering. And as always, if there's any questions or errors that you're experiencing, then reach out to the eBiz team. You can send an email. There'll be a phone number shortly that you'll be able to either call or email EVIS. And now we're going to pause for a video on how to add that volunteer position.
After registration. During the registration process, once you get to the personal information page, enter your information. Are you a Girl Scout volunteer? Click yes if you have a defined role and a troop number. If you do not have a troop number, click no. Once you are assigned a troop number, you will be able to log back in and claim a role. We will explain this in the second half of the video. Verify your media permission and click next. Select a role from the drop-down menu. We will be selecting the 01 leader position. Select the year you are participating in. Select where you will be serving, troop, service unit, or area. I will be selecting troop. Enter in your troop number and click search. From the list, click on your troop number. All the information you entered is pulled to the right of the screen. Click Add. If you will be holding multiple positions, you may repeat this process. All positions are marked as pending until a background check is verified. For each role and registration year, your background check must be verified as being current. Click Next. Review the information is correct, and click Continue. This is how to add a role after you have already registered. Log in to your EVIS account. Click on Your Name's Account. Under How I Participate, click on Add Volunteer Roles. Select your role from the drop-down menu. We will be choosing Cookie Manager. Scroll down to Troop Product Sales - Cookies. Choose the year in which you will be participating. Choose where you will be serving, troop, service unit, or area. We will be selecting troop. Enter in your troop number. Select your choice from the list. Your choices will be added to the right-hand side of the page. Click Add. If this is correct, click Update Involvement.
Just a second here. Okay.
All right, so here's a chart that is in your registrar packet, and it will explain the positions that will be most commonly used in your troops. So you can have an 01 position, which is a troop leader. Only 01s have that troop management feature. Anybody who needs a background check, so if you're going on a camping trip or you have volunteers who drive the girls, will be helping out in any booth sales, you're going to have them select an 03 position. And if they are not current in their background check, they will get a message to get their background check done. You have your service unit team positions, which are 11. This year we're going to add a new position on, and that is the 13 position. We have many adults who have girls in multiple troops. Maybe they don't participate or need a background check. They just need to be seen in 2 rosters. Then they're going to select the 13 position. So it's called Special Service Adults, but that just means that you are an adult participating in troops, and you are not participating in a capacity in which you would need a background check. and all positions must be renewed each year. A little bit about troop maintenance. After you have registered and you've claimed your O1 position for the year and it's been activated, the first active O1 leader to enter a troop is going to get this troop meeting information page. You're going to select it for you'll have the membership year up on top. You're going to select if you're participating once a month, maybe twice a month, throughout the whole year, your grade level, and the meeting place, day, and time of your meeting. After your O1 position is active, you'll see the My Troops tab as indicated on the screen. And then I just wanted to point out to carefully look at your rosters, especially when it becomes to adults. We're going to go over some common problems later. But as you see, Vicki Volunteer has an adult member position next to her name. If Vicki participated in more than one troop, one of those lines would just have the second troop number with no adult member position. She would not be able to renew her registration in that second troop, only the troop that has the adult member position listed. I think we would skip
I
this.
skipped one. Sorry about that.
All right, we're going to have another video of what a new member is going to see when they log on. First, they will create an account.
There we go, just waiting for it to download. Okay.
This is how to create a new eBiz account. The person creating this account must be the primary guardian of this Girl Scout family. Navigate to the eBiz homepage. Locate and click on the new online account box on the right side of the homepage. Follow the prompts, answering the questions to complete your personal profile. All fields marked with a red asterisk are required. Click Continue. When the pop-up block appears, locate and click on Continue. Create a username. If the username you create already exists in our database, the field will revert back to a blank field. Please try a different username. Create a password. Passwords must be at least 7 characters, contain at least one number, and are case sensitive. Select a security question. This will enable you to use the Forgot Username or Forgot Password feature. You must add at least one email address and at least one phone number. Please note that many work email addresses will block receipt of email from unknown senders. Click Submit Online Profile. To add a family member, click on Add Children or Adults to your Girl Scout family. Enter the family member's information. Click Continue. Verify the email and phone number are correct. Click Submit Online Profile. To add additional family members, click on Add a Family Member on the right-hand side of the page. You can now register for a membership. You can also register for programs, camp, trainings, and other council events.
Okay, and after the adult family manager has created the eBiz account and added any girls who are in their family, they're going to register the new girl.
registering a new girl member. From your family roster, select the box to the left of the family member's name you'd like to. Confirm your selection. Select the year in which you want her to be a member. Carefully read the selection choices. Memberships cannot be refunded or transferred if the membership year is wrong. Girl members are $30 and shown in two separate $15 charges. Once you have the year you'd like to purchase, click Process 1 of 1. Verify the contact information is correct. All fields marked with a red asterisk are required, and at least one phone number is required. Click Next. Verify the member's personal information, race, and ethnicity. Enter the name of the school she attends and click Search. Select the school from the list. Your selection is confirmed when it is shown in the far right box. If the school is not found, click School Not Found and send a ticket to eviz@gsenj.org. Enter the grade the child will be attending for the year you are registering. Enter the number of years the girl has been in Girl Scouts. If this is the first year, enter 1. Choose a pathway of entry. How will she be participating in Girl Scouts? Click Camp, Events, Series, Travel, Troop, Virtual, or I don't know. If you select Troop, you may enter the troop number you would like placement in. This is a request only. It does not guarantee placement in this troop. You will work with your troop leader, service unit, or council representative for troop placement, or other pathway options. If a girl is a registered member in a previous year, she will automatically be placed in the same troop. If you are requesting a troop transfer, contact your service unit or council representative. Verify your media permission. Verify the custodial care information. You may select both parent, mother, guardian only, or father, guardian only, or other. Verify the guardian one's information. You must have at least one phone number and one email address in guardian fields. Click Next. If you select Guardian 2, then you will need to enter all of Guardian 2's information, or click Next. Review the information is correct. Click Continue. Cost of the membership is shown. Click Checkout. This is the donation screen. If you'd like to donate, please click on one of the options or click Not at this time. Click Continue. This is your order payment. Verify everything is correct and then enter in your credit card information. You will need to click that you do accept and will abide by the Girl Scout promise and law. Click Process My Order. This is your order summary. You will receive an email confirmation with the receipt of your transaction. Forward your email confirmation to your troop leader. Save this confirmation for your records. You will need to provide this confirmation for troop placement. If you are a new member looking for troop placement, contact your field executive. To find out who your field executive is, go to our homepage. Click Contact. Click Field Executives. Type in your town in the search box. Your field executive contact information is here.
Okay, we'll pause it there. I just want to let you all know we will be sending you the links to all of these videos as well as a couple of more. We're working with the Marcom department to try to get these also put on our website so everybody will have access. So after today's trainings, we will be sending out the links, and I'll also send you those spring renewal flyers. And I think we have a question. Let's just check that really quick. Okay, they're wondering, when you get to in the part of the form where it says you have to put in the number of years that you've been in Girl Scouts, can that be amended to say including the year you are registering for? Because most people think it means the previous years, not the previous years plus the current membership year. Michelle, do you have an answer for that?
Unfortunately, we can't add anything to the eBiz screens, but what you can do is if you have anybody who's questioning their years, you can always just let them know that they'll have a chance to fix that each membership year. So when they're going in this year, they'll be able to change and update. It doesn't lock you out for changing any of the numbers. Or contact eBiz. We can fix that for them as well. And when we do walk somebody through online, we try to educate them as they're processing the registration. So we try to catch as many of those as possible.
Okay, I have another question or another comment too. For new registrars, please point out the difference between the online receipt from the eBiz system, the print order, and the emailed registration receipt from noreply@uapps.net. Also warn them that emails from the system frequently end up in the spam filters. I think we have that coming up a little bit, but yes, it can be confusing because the email replies do not come from GSH&J. They come from noreply@uapps.net. So that could be very confusing, particularly for new families. And Michelle, actually, I should let you be talking about that in particular.
All right. So for when you are creating your online account, you will be receiving emails along the way that you've created an account, you've created a username, you've added members to your family. So I think this is like a helpful hint from one of our veterans saying, when you get those emails, that's not the email that says you're registered. It's that email that comes directly from No Reply at UAPPS that has your email confirmation. And she is also correct in saying that sometimes that No Reply message goes to your junk or spam file. So you'll want to tell you'll want to tell the members, your leaders, especially the new leaders, that you're going to get an email confirmation within 15-20 minutes on a very, very busy day. It should come automatically. But if you think you've registered and you haven't received your email confirmation, then go ahead and check your spam or junk file that day. If you haven't received that, it's possible that your registration didn't go through, log in again. And if that's the case, then please give a call or email to eBiz, and we can ensure that did go through.
All right, Michelle. Oh, sorry.
Okay, a couple more questions. Scouts can begin to register for 2016 next year. Spring renewal is opening, next week. Spring renewal opens on Monday, so you can go ahead and register. We've actually had a couple of super early spring renewals that have come in. We've got about 12 so far, and they will be updated with their things. But to get your coupons and everything, I would wait until Monday to purchase your registration. So everybody on the call here has homework tonight. Go and register next week if you're not a lifetime member, and see how that system is working. The coupons are coming in a little differently this year. You're going to click on the link and get your own personal coupon. So go ahead and try that so that you could be, very knowledgeable when people ask you questions. And if a second guardian is being identified, do they have to be registered in the system before their information can get entered as a guardian? No, they don't have to be. If you have a second guardian, they do not have to be a registered member. You can add somebody new. If somebody were to get an error message trying to add a guardian, then that would just be an eBiz ticket. So if a troop leader, lots of good questions coming in, if a troop leader were to register their whole troop, those coupons go directly to the families. So the coupons are going to go to the email address that's on file for that child. It's generated through the, if you're registering just a child in your troop, the email confirmation goes to the parent email address that's sitting in that child's record. The troop leader will know that they're registered because they will have that active registration on their troop roster. Okay, from the last video, the couple things that I wanted to point out to everybody was that the username, you are competing with GS across the United States for your usernames. Each council has their own eBiz portal, but you can't have the same username in multiple locations. So if you have somebody who accidentally registered in the wrong council last year, or if you have somebody transferring in from another part of New Jersey or a different state, they're going to need a new username for the Girl Scouts Heart of New Jersey portal. And the passwords are case sensitive. They must contain at least 7 characters containing letters and numbers. Some people get stuck in this field if there's not a warning sign that comes up when they're trying to create an account that either the username exists or they're using a password that's not, doesn't meet the criteria. So sometimes people get stuck there. So it's important to know that. Okay, some other problems that somebody might have along the way. When a family manager tries to add a member to their account and gets the message they already exist in the system, please contact us. This is the case that Kay was saying earlier, that a guardian might have a hyphenated name and uses different names when they register. They may have become unlinked from their family member. Or if you have multiple guardians registering a girl on various years, then a girl may get linked to the other guardian, and then you're going to get this error message. The best practice is to have, especially if the parents take turns registering, it's important to just have one login. It just makes it so much easier to have one login for your child. Pick a person who's going to be the family manager and use that as the family login. A customer attempts to create a web account, so it's a brand new member creating an account but receives the error message. We have found you in our system, but in order to continue, please contact us. So you think you're a new member, maybe you participated 5-6 years ago. We still might have your information in the system, or maybe you've already sent in your volunteer application, so some of your information might be in the system already. And when you try to create that new online account, maybe we don't have an email address on file for you, or it's changed, there was a typo, so that's usually why you get that error message. And that would be a way to, one of the things you need to do to contact eBiz is eBiz will help you with that. Okay, and if you try to create a new account and the system recognizes that you already are in the system with a username or password, it's going to give you, we found you in their system, please log in with your username and password. So sometimes maybe you've had a duplicate record that's been merged or something and you don't know your username password, then you can follow the username password link. Kay, it's up to you. I don't know if we have time for that, or do you want to keep on going?
This one is a short one, as I recall, so we'll just go through it really quickly. As soon as it decides to download, there we go.
So right next to the username and password, there's a little question mark. So that we're going to walk you through what somebody will do.
If you did not select a security question when you created your eBiz account, this feature will not work for you. Please contact eBiz support at ebiz@gshj.org. On the right side of the eBiz homepage, you'll see the current member login box. If you have forgotten your eBiz username, navigate to the right side of the box, labeled username with a question mark. Type in your first and last name and email address. Click Retrieve Username. The security question you selected when you created your eBiz account will display. Answer the security question and click on Retrieve Username. Your username will be sent to the email address we have on file. If you have forgotten your eBiz password, navigate to the right side of the box labeled Password with a question mark. Type in your username and email. Click Reset Password. The security question you selected when you created your eBiz account will display. Answer the security question and click on Reset Password. A link to reset your password will be sent to the email address we have on file. Open your email account. If you do not see an email from us, check your spam and junk mail. Follow the directions on the email. Passwords must be 7 characters with at least 1 number, and they are case sensitive. Once you update your password, a message, "Your password has been updated," will display.
Okay, so we have some members who were accidentally registered in the wrong council for the 2015 membership year. The best thing, if you know who those families are, is have them contact eBiz when they try to register for the 2016 year. It's possible that their login is still sitting in that council that they used previously. We want to make sure that they get linked properly to their guardian, so it's probably the best practice for them to contact us for help. And after September 29th, when a troop leader goes in, they might think that their girls have fallen off their roster for the 2016 membership year. If a girl has not been registered yet for the 2016 membership year as of September 29th, then her membership is over. Your membership is valid through September 30th. So when your troop leader logs in, that renewal is still waiting for that girl in the troop, just waiting for the family to go in and purchase it, but a family manager will have to purchase that membership after September 29th for that girl. Okay, we have an online registration process. Paper is needed still for financial assistance and graduating seniors. If you know of any graduating seniors in your community, have them on the radar. They should be receiving their letters in May. There is a very short period of time where they can take advantage of that offer. So if you have troop leaders who would like to use troop funds to purchase their graduating seniors, all those forms have to get to council by mid to late August. And everybody who registers for a program or a membership will get a proof of their registration. The proof tells exactly where the member is registered, so please have everybody hold on to their confirmation emails. And on the bottom of the screen, this is what I was talking about a little earlier when you have an adult who is participating in more than one troop. If a troop leader tries to register that adult for the troop that they are not a member of, they're going to get a renewal order exists in your cart for members who have been transferred to another troop. Please remove the renewal order from the cart. So if a leader is trying to register her whole troop, has a parent who is in more than one troop, they might want to just take out parents, register the girls, and then contact eBiz of which parent is causing that error message to appear. Okay, again, just have everybody hold on to their confirmation emails, print it out, keep it in your Girl Scout bag with your stuff for the year. Registration is required for the NUTE and the eBuddy system. It's directly uploaded into your troop, so you want to make sure you know where you're registered. If you have new troops, please make sure the girls are registered before making the placement requests. It's going to move that process along so much easier for you to see them in your weekly rosters.
And Michelle, if I could just jump in here for a second, just so you all know, when we train basic leadership training, we do take the new leaders, we tell them briefly about the registration process. We ask them to ask their troop parents to forward the email confirmations to the troop leader. Then the troop leader is asked to put together just a brief roster. Here are the girls in the troop, here are the adults in the troop, should all be registered, and this is troop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They should send that list to you as the registrar. So that will give you the names to look at to make sure that they're registered before you make that placement request to council. So new leaders are asked to do that, just so you know. Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Sure. And if you have members in your service unit who either don't have access to a computer or are struggling with the system, council can provide guidance, or you might want to make sure that the leaders of those girls do register them prior to September 29th. But if you are having extreme difficulty, then work with your field executive of how we can assist you in providing support for your service unit. Okay, so is there any helpful hints that any of our returning registrars may have for somebody new? What's really worked well for you in your service unit?
If you have any helpful hints, go ahead and type them into the question box. And I know it takes a little while sometimes to type in a comment. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead with the presentation. But yes, we want to hear from you. What are your best practices? If you have great suggestions, go ahead and type them in, and we will read them out at the end of the presentation. So go ahead and type in any suggestions you have. And in the meantime, Michelle and I will go on ahead.
Okay, the financial assistance program is changing slightly this year. New forms will be available to the web shortly. If you have members who want to get a head start, use what's there right now. But families will be asked to contribute a portion of the membership registration fee. All forms need to be sent directly to the address you see on the screen, to the North Branch location. Those will be listed on the forms. And another side note is if you have a volunteer who's requesting financial assistance, please make sure that they send their volunteer applications directly to the volunteer manager on the information on page 2 of that application, and not attach it with the financial aid form.
Okay, we've had a question come in. Will you be having the registration open houses at the council offices again this year? And Michelle, if you don't know the answer, we do have 2 field execs on the call. I can open them.
I would like to send that to the field.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me. We have Fatima Latif and Pam Valasis on with us. Let me just find where they are. Okay. Okay. Fatima, you and Pam are unmuted, and I don't know if you heard the question, but we had, first of all, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Hi.
okay. We have a question as to whether we're going to be holding those registration open houses at council again this year.
Our intent, we don't have anything scheduled right now. If there is a request, then you can specifically work with your field executive. I know that we had a kind of a discussion internally that it was a possibility, but I think there would have to, we'd have to discuss if there was a need. And would that specifically, are they asking if it would be in one of the towns or in the office?
Okay, so it sounds like that's still under discussion then, so watch this space.
Yeah, but are they, I don't know who asked the question, but were they looking to have one within their town or within the service center?
Okay, let's see. All right, if you were the person who asked that question, if you're looking for one in your town or your service center, if you could type that in the question box, let us know. Oh, she's asking for one in the service center.
As of right now, there are no plans. So I know that we are still in discussion about that.
Okay, and we do have somebody else asking, were those open houses well attended last year?
I think they were well attended depending on the office.
Okay.
So some offices had more attendance than others.
Okay. All right, thanks for helping us. I'm going to put you on mute again, but if we
Okay.
have your question, we'll call you back up. So thank you, Fatima. Okay.
Okay, so as a registrar, you are going to be able to get that O1 leader position for your service unit. You're going to get your weekly reports, and on your weekly report, the beginning portion of your report has anybody who is not yet placed. So you're going to be able to see them online only. You will be able to see all of the troops in your service unit. So you will be able to see all of the girls and even the adults who are waiting for placement. Quite often an adult doesn't register every year. They register maybe every other year. But this is something they're a new member again, and you'll see them at the beginning of your roster. So please keep reviewing them and send those requests to get all the adults and girls placed into the correct troops. You will also be able to get the O1 position of your Juliet or non-troop affiliated members, and that troop number is 320, and then your service unit. So if I was in service unit 52, my troop number for my non-troop affiliated members or Juliets would be 32052. And if you have anybody who's showing up in your rosters, a suggestion, I'm not sure if it was today or last night, was to reach out to those girls. Maybe they're attending a private school in a different service unit, and we need to get them over. I know we have some service units who have, just because of their zip codes, school girls attend in many different towns, but we usually wind up in the zip code for the service unit. So just keep a watchful eye and contact your field executive if you have questions about girls who you think that might not be on your roster or they should not be there. You're going to get your reports once a week, Friday mornings. They're in Excel format, so you can navigate them pretty easy. And we talked about all the things that you need to do with the report. So if there's any questions about that, please type them in. Okay.
All right, that brings us to the formal end of the training. Thank you all for joining us. We definitely appreciate your time, not only in being part of the training, but in being service unit registrars. We will stay on the line for a few minutes in case any of you have those best practices that you want to share with us. If you have any EVIS questions, registration questions, training questions, field exec type questions, we've got it all here. So feel free to answer those. If you need to leave now, maybe you have to go pick up a child at school, the formal part of the training is over, but as I said, we'll be on for a few minutes to answer questions, and I think we've had one come in, so hang on. Oh, one of the registrars is asking, oh, this one, okay, are registrars 01, do the registrars, I think this is what you're saying, do the registrars have a 01 position code for the series number?
We can see if there's any series running in your service unit. That is possible that we can make you the one for the series. Just the one thing you want to keep in mind is you only want to have no more than 501 positions. If you have over 501 positions, then you're going to start having viewing issues with your screen. So let's make sure we have girls placed in those numbers, so then you have this best success when you go into EVIS.
Okay, we've got another question. Please explain again the new position code of 13. Will this appear for an adult who is a leader in one troop with a 01 code, but a parent in a second troop, will they appear as 13?
Okay, so the 13 is going to be a self-reported position. When you purchase your adult registration, you're automatically going to get a 14 position in the troop that your registration renewal is sitting in, or when you're joining for the first time, you get 114 position. So if you have multiple troops you wish to participate in, if you just want to be seen in both rosters, that would have to be a self-reported 13, or you can also make that request as you're making your troop transfers to add an adult to their second troop and, claim them with the 13 position. Does that answer the question?
Okay, good. Glad we've answered the question. Thanks for letting us know. We'll stay on for another minute to see if any other questions come in. Again, the formal training is over, so if you need to leave now, thank you for joining us and have a good afternoon. Otherwise, if you want to stay on for another minute to see if any other questions come in, we're glad to have you. While we're waiting for that, I want to thank Michelle Milano, for helping us, letting us pick her brain on e-business things. I want to thank Crystal Gaines, who's another of our training managers. She's been helping out with some behind-the-scenes things this morning. And Fatima Latif and Pam Valasis, our field execs, who have been on the call in case of field exec type questions. And we do have another question. Under what circumstances would you be able to volunteer with a troop without needing a background check or a 13?
I'm not sure that that parent who has two girls would necessarily be volunteering in the two troops. They would, if they're volunteering in any kind of capacity, they would have to have the background check, and then they would have that O3 position. This is the mom who has more than one child and maybe just attending purchasing a program. So it's a program that's not one of those programs that you need a background check for. It's not an overnight trip, and parent is just taking their daughter to the trip, and therefore what needs to be seen in both troops because of the troop leader just wants to see them there and know that they're registered, or possibly just attending a program.
And Fatima and Pam, I've just taken you off of mute. I don't think there are really any circumstances that you can volunteer without needing a background check. Do you have any thoughts on that? While you're doing that, I'm going to go back to that slide that we have that shows.
No, I think for the most part you would need to have a background check. I guess if you potentially are unsure if you're actually going to be in a position and you register just in case, then maybe. But for the most part, I think they kind of go hand in hand. And you can't actually, if you submit a volunteer application, you have to be a registered member. So, kind of the vice versa. Anybody who has a volunteer application, when they submit it, should be registered.
Okay, I've put the Who Needs What chart up on the screen again just to refresh your memory. Again, you can come back here for various positions to see who does need to be registered, who does need a background check. If you have questions, you can contact us in training. You can contact your field executive, and we can help you work through that.
One thing I could possibly think about is I do know that we require Gold Award mentors to be registered. I don't necessarily know if they need to be background checked. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So whoever the advisor, the Girl Scout advisor is, they do have to be a registered member. So I guess in that potential.
Right, and the position came about because we've had very many requests of leaders who want to see their registered adults, and therefore, if you have more than one child, if you're just registered, you can only appear in one troop. So this position was developed so that you're not volunteering anyway. You just have multiple children, and your troop leader wants to see you in their roster.
Okay, we've got another question. She says, if I read it correctly, Juliet mentors need to be registered and background checked, but do they need to be trained as leaders? Also, should we be transferring them to the Juliet troop number 320 SU number? Michelle, why don't you take the second question, and then I'll take the first question. Do they need to be transferred to the Juliet troop in the service unit?
Right. If you know that you have a Juliet, then please request a transfer to the 320 and your service unit.
So for you, Charlotte, it would be 32028. I think you probably figured that out. Should they be trained as leaders? We would like it if they would. If you have a junior, for example, a junior Girl Scout who has decided to become a Juliet, that's fine. If they're going to be appropriately mentored, then the person registering with them, we would like them to be trained simply because, simply so that they are familiar with the resources at that level that are available to the girls. So yes, it would be a really good idea if they would do that. Okay, we'll wait a little bit to see if any other questions come in. Really good questions this morning. Thank you, everybody. Okay, I think we are going to end the webinar now. We're at about 1 minute past the time that we established. So thanks again for joining us. If you have questions that come up, again, contact us in training, contact Michelle or any of our eBiz people, contact your field executive, and we'll be glad to have you, or we'll be glad to help you. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a good afternoon, and thank you again for volunteering your time as registrar. Oh, no, we had something else come up. Oh, it's just thank you. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Thanks for joining us, and thank you all for volunteering your time as registrars. It's so important, and you're doing us a great deal of, you're doing us a huge favor and helping us out a lot by being registrars for your service unit. Everyone have a good afternoon.